Hi, it's Marianne with a Scraplift Saturday video for the Crafty Maven Getaway channel. And today I scraplifted a page from Nancy Damiano from Simple Stories. She used the Summer Vibes collection. And when I saw it, I loved it. And I went and bought the chipboard die cut pack and the cardstock stickers. Other than that, I used some washi tape and I think some puffy stickers from Amy Tangerine, some heart stickers, and a few word stickers. I used a scrap of pattern paper from my stash in just kind of a light pink because the picture I was using was very turquoise. It was from the pool, and it overwhelmed the whole rest of the page with the color because the die cuts and the stickers are very muted tones. And so I just needed to not have the whole page be about the photo. And so I just used some light pink, and I'm also going to ink the edges here in a second. So the way Nancy did her page is she swiped acrylic paint in kind of an ombre effect across the bottom of her paper, of her page. And I chose not to use the acrylic paint. I just didn't feel like painting today, so I figured I'd use washi tape in 3 colors and pick the die cuts that were in the same color family and put them on that line. I also picked the die cuts that were my favorites and that spoke to me, like about summer, what I felt like represented summer to me. And I'm pretty sure that's what Nancy did, though I actually have no idea if that's what Nancy did. But that's the way I chose to do my page. I didn't, I have looked at Nancy's page so many times just because I loved it so much that once I knew, that's what I wanted to scrap lift, I don't need to look at the page. I knew she made 3 stripes and used some die cuts on it. And other than that, it's going in my scrapbook. And, it's going to be reflective of what I like and what summer means to me. And that's the great thing about scrap lifting, really, is that you see an idea that you just think is so awesome, and sometimes you go right out and buy the same supplies, or sometimes you say, I have something that's just the same and I'll use that. And either you can copy it exactly, or you use it as a jumping off point, and then your creativity takes over. And, I'm not going to say necessarily that that's what happened here, because clearly I did the same thing that she did. So there wasn't really a lot of room for it to make it my own, although I did. It's still reflective of how I feel about summer. But, it's the same when you use a sketch. Sometimes you start off and you think it's going to look one way, and then once you get going, it completely changes. So anyway, I think that's what's so great about scrap lifting. And, sometimes you just need a little something to get you going. And after you watch this video, I really hope that you will, pull out the supplies that you bought because you saw someone use them a certain way, and then maybe go look for that project again and make a page. It's a holiday weekend here in the U.S., so maybe you'll have a little crafty time. And if not, then, September is here. Kids are back in school. You might be able to take a little time for yourself. Either way, I hope you get crafty pretty soon. And if not, there's always the process videos. I think when I don't have the time, or I'm too tired, say it's after work and I just come home and, I just don't feel like sitting down and making a page, because honestly, in my space, I rely on a lot of natural light. So if it's not during the daytime, I just don't want to go over there and make something. And, that's where process videos are really great. You can just play one and see what other people are doing. And it kind of goes in your scrapbooking brain bank. That's what I think, anyway. And then when I sit down to create the next time, I just kind of am still in the flow of what what goes on. Because you know when you're away from it for so long, you kind of like sit down, you're like, wait, I think I forgot how to scrapbook. Like, it's like nothing makes sense. So anyway, back to the page. I went through the die cut pack and I picked out die cuts that were in the colors that I wanted to use and the ones that spoke to me. And then I'm just going to lay them down on my 3 pieces of washi tape. One was off of a roll. I think it was Bella Boulevard or Queen and Company, one of those, the pink one. And the other 2 were in a washi sheet pack from Basic Gray, which I'm pretty sure I've had for a long time. So I'm glad I'm finally utilizing that. And I used one border sticker off the sticker sheet, and I put that up by my title, and with an umbrella and some flip-flops. And the word summer came off the sticker sheet, and that's going to be part of my title. And here I just went back to get some more die cuts because I didn't pick enough the first time, and I knew I wanted to use, there's little flowers in there, I knew I wanted to use all of those. They're pretty little. And then I end up finishing off the gaps with some word stickers from, you know, different sticker sheets I had around, and some enamel dots. So I've done this voiceover, I don't know, maybe 12 times, and I keep having some technical issues. So if I cut it short and music starts to play, basically that's how I finished off the page. I used some Amy Tangerine Puffy Heart stickers also to fill in the gaps, and I'm really happy with the way this is coming together. So I used the chipboard die cuts, some Puffy Heart stickers, some word stickers that I'm going to go get in a few minutes, and now I'm going to work on the title, I think. So I have a general idea of how I'm laying these out. And when I knew I wanted to make this page, I kind of just jotted down a few lines of what summer meant to me. Just some phrases, really. And I'm going to write that in between the washi strips there. So here I'm just looking through some of my thickers. I knew I wanted black up there, and I found this one thicker pack. I really liked the font. It was kind of, I want to say bubbly. That's not the word. Maybe like bubble letters, and felt very 70s to me, which is what this layout felt like. So I knew I wanted to use it. I was not really loving, no pun intended, or maybe it was intended, I wasn't loving that L. So I'm going to cut it apart and see if I like it better. I don't. So I went looking on the sheet to see if there was something I liked better, and I found half of a parentheses. And it wasn't the worst thing ever, but I kept trying to straighten it out. It was too curvy, like a parentheses. So I'm going to go see what else I can find. And I settle on an F, cut it apart a little bit, and that is a perfect L. I'm liking that so much better. I'm loving it. And now the V looks just like a U. So I tried to do a little surgery on that, but I knew as I was cutting it that the cuts were just too harsh for the rest of the rounded alphabet. So I pulled another V, and I just pulled it apart a little bit so it wasn't so close together, and then that's fine. Now I'm loving my title. So here I pulled out some of these Simple Story word stickers. Some are word stickers. I don't know how old this collection is, 2 or 3 years at least. And I'm just going to pull out what I can use. I know there's a yellow that says Hello Summer. There's no pink on the sheet. And then there was one that was that bluish green color. I don't remember what it says now. So I'm going to use the yellow, the blue-green, and then for the pink one, and I used some pop dots. I popped them up. And for the pink one, I have a sticker sheet right there from a very recent Studio Calico kit, and I'm just going to use the one that says Happiness. but it was too black and white. I wanted to make it pinker. So first I'm going to think, okay, maybe I could use a scrap of pattern paper and mount it on there. But that didn't work. It just blended right in. Didn't do anything for it. And now that I look at it, I probably should have taken the pop dots off. But either way, it was the same color pink. It wouldn't have popped out at all. And so then I thought maybe I could use some washi tape over the cardstock. Maybe that would make it pop. But that's not going to be the look I'm going for either. And so what I settle on is I get my distress ink in pink. It's Spun Sugar, it's called. And although the sticker is shiny, I knew like it wasn't going to hold that much of the ink. That was okay because the colors are so muted. I didn't really need a lot. I just wanted to tone down the starkness of the black and the white. So I just ran it over the ink pad a few times and then just kind of rubbed it in with my finger. And it was just enough. Just enough for me so that it wasn't so glaringly black and white. It has a little pink tint to it. And that was just perfect. So I'm really liking the way this page came together. Thanks, Nancy, for the inspiration. And I'm glad that I bought the product and actually used it for a page that I've been wanting to make. And I hope you're inspired to do the same. I challenge you to do the same. I know that you have bought things based on a project you have seen, and they're probably still sitting in your stash. So maybe make that a September goal, whether it's a summer layout or whatever it is. Pull out the product, find the project that inspired you, and scraplift it. That's my challenge to you. So here I'm just writing down the few phrases that I wanted on my page, and it's the yellow line that's going to give me some trouble. The first part goes okay. I don't remember what I wrote there. Going out for ice cream, I think I write. And that part's fine. And the next thing I wanted to write was wearing shorts and flip-flops. So I write wearing shorts, and then flip-flops, I wasn't sure, do I want it to go on top of each other, flip-flop, how do I want to write it? And then I just moved the die cut and wrote it. And now the die cut doesn't go back the same way I had it. So on the second line, then now the ice cream cone is a little weird and the beach ball is a little weird. So those both don't end up making it on the page, which is too bad because I really liked the way that all looked. But in the end, it's all fine anyway. So I'm just going to finish off the writing. And then once I've got that in place, I know I want to finish off the page with some enamel dots. So I'm going to go look through my stash. And I do fiddle with that a little bit. I really wanted to use that ice cream cone because I wanted to start it with the ice cream and end it with the ice cream. But it's just too crowded over there to be pleasing to my eye. Anyway. So the chipboard die cuts did have an adhesive back, and so I peeled off all of them and stuck them all down. But after I finished the page, I ended up going back with some liquid glue, some Scotch quick dry adhesive, and gluing them all down because they were not sticking. So here I'm just looking through my enamel dots. I have a nice stash of them, so I always have the right color, which is very helpful when you're doing, especially when you're doing a project like this. I use the teeny tiny ones and then the next size up from that. So the bigger ones were just too big in relation to, the smaller die cuts. And I just wanted to fill in a few of the empty spots. And thank God for enamel dots. I love them. I use them on every page, it feels like. But they're always just the right thing. I've been collecting them for a while. So I have a nice size stash, just the right amount. It all fits in a Ziploc, so can't have more than that. And I use them, so that's good too. I have no plans on buying any more in the future. So if they come, to me through a kit club, then that's great. But as of right now, I won't go out of my way to buy anymore, unless they're super special. I see how I left myself a little room there, unless they're too awesome to pass up. So there, I'm just finishing off the page with some of the enamel dots. And I hope that you'll check out the other videos on the Crafty Maven Getaway channel. There's a new video every day. There's an awesome idea from Hannah Lemieux. She set the whole thing up and runs it. It's really, really great and inspiring, and every day there's somebody new and a different idea. Always something to watch. There's always something on YouTube to watch. Whether it's, a music video or something scrappy, something crafty.